Recently, I was in Ohio. On one Saturday, I visited GMS Columbus, and then the next Saturday, myself and some local pastors and evangelists from the area visited GMS Cleveland. From those two back-to-back encounters, GMS Hebrew Israelite Camp has a new policy, apparently. They're going to call the cops on me now.
Okay, you coming up to our platform.
Right, exactly, like this other corner, don't preach.
Abu is a historian of One West Hebrew Israelism. He's been following the movement longer than anyone I know and knows more about the history of the movement more than anyone I know. He offers some very insightful commentary on this development.
So last Saturday, Vocab Malone paid a visit to GMS Cleveland while they were holding camp.
Week 2! How y'all doing?
And amazingly, shortly after he arrived, one of the members of the camp said this.
Hey, this ain't a debate, man. The Lord just sent us out here to debate, all right? The Lord sent the prophets out here to give a warning. He said, therefore, give them a warning from me, okay? That's right. It's me. This ain't a debate, man.
All right, Shalom. This is your brother Nahal from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasher Allah, and a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Yahweh is the name of the one they ignorantly call God. Yahweh Shai is the name of the one they ignorantly call Jesus. Bahashem is in the name. Ruach is spirit. Kodash is holy. Akyam is brothers. Akwath is sisters. Shalom means peace, and Yasher Allah is Israel in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. All right, this is Romans chapter 1 and verse 17. And it reads, for therein is the righteousness of Yahweh Shem Shai, revealed from faith to faith. As it is written, the just shall live by faith. Now, the point that I want to bring out in this precept in particular is the revealed from faith to faith. All right, and this lesson is inspired by some of the recent news. All right, whether it's Vocab Malone, whether it's Sakari. All right. The recent visit to L.A., all of these things and people's negative comments about, the cops being called on Vocab Malone is truly a revelation that a lot of Israelites don't understand what's actually happening, what's actually going on in the spirit. All right. Real quick. This is Matthew chapter 16. And I'm going to jump up to verse 1, and it reads, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting, desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Because people forget that the ministry was set up to seal the elect. And once the elect are sealed, there's the next phase, if you will, of prophecy. All right, that it's not going to just stay in this realm or this bubble of debates, of entertaining Christians to no edification. That was a thing that was necessary for one stage, and it's not going to stay there forever. Like when you look at the ministry as a whole, eventually it's going to move into Jacob's trouble. All right. And it's not going to be about content, because when you look at guys like Vocab and Sakari, these are guys who are basically farming content. They basically become content creators around the theme of being an Israelite. And that's not what the ministry was set up for. It was set up to raise up the elect for the edification of the body. All right, until the Lord began to perform the words and the thoughts and intents concerning Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast, and all of these serious prophecies that stand ahead of us. All right, matter of fact, let's get this. Because you have a lot of Israelites that are just coming into the faith, and they're seeing certain things and they really don't understand, what they're witnessing. And then you have some Israelites who are new to this, who are offended at the idea of not debating Christians. But Christians have been getting debated for decades now, and they don't have real answers. At this point, it's all about content. Guys like Vocab Malone are making a living off of being a adversary to the Israelites. he's making a living off of it. It's not about true edification. It's not about actually seeking the truth. It's about content. You have a lot of Israelite camps that are doing things and it's all about content. It's not really about sincerity and raising up the elect for what's about to happen through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, real quick. This is Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 11. And it reads, and he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. All right, the point is the perfecting of the saints. You know, this is why our apostles say all the time, this is only about the elect. You know, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. Because a lot of Israelites are just into controversy. You know, when you first come into the truth, you know, you get to that level where you watch Edomites get cut, you watch Christians get cut, but it's not all about that. Eventually, the ministry is going to transition because this is the building up of the faith of the elect. And that faith is a gift. And not everybody has faith. As the scriptures say, all men have not faith. All right, let's continue. Ephesians 4 and 12, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. Verse 13, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh Shema Shai, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach. All right. And some interactions are just vain. All right. They don't produce any edification. And a lot of interactions with Vocab Malone in particular, they don't produce any significant edification. At this point, all he's really doing is going up to camps and getting on bullhorns and just creating a scene. And it's for content purposes. You know, keep that in mind. These are guys who have monetized the Hebrew Israelite space. So they make a living off of it. But the ministry was never meant to stay exactly where it's at right now. It was always meant to build up the elect for what's about to happen next. All right, let's go here. All right, this is Titus chapter 3 and verse 8 says, this is a faithful saying, and these things I will that thou affirm constantly, that they which have believed in Yahweh Shema Shai might be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable unto men. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. All right. And a lot of the subjects that have been discussed with guys like Vocab Malone have been discussed repeatedly. The edifications come out, not just in the face-to-face confrontation, but the videos that have followed after those. And it's to no avail at this point. It's a vain interaction. And that's why the spirit is on the apostle, you know, to basically say, don't deal with the guy. Because what's the point? What's the point? But a lot of Israelites who love controversy don't really understand what they're a part of. They don't really understand that this ministry is going to move to the next phase. It's going to move to the next stage. As the scripture said, we go from faith to faith. It's not meant for us to just have this truth, just to debate people all day long. No, it's to warn. It's to edify through the spirit. And then eventually what's going to happen is the Lord's going to start to remove the word. Famine of the word is going to come. These are realities. These aren't things that are far off. These are things that are in reality. And that's why with all that getting understanding is most important. Because we didn't get this truth just to have endless debates with Christians. You know, when you look at Israelites as a whole through the spirit, you know, for the most part have covered all these major topics concerning Christianity, and they've been cut, not just by the elders and apostles in Great Millstone, but by other camps that think that have the like-minded doctrine, even other camps that we differ on in certain doctrines. They've been able to cut Christians successfully to a point where what other conversation is necessary? And guys like Vocab Malone, it's obvious that it's not genuine. You know, there's no genuine desire for edification. And this is why there's no point in entertaining it. All you're doing is giving him content to monetize. All right, let's continue. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. And it reads, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And the reason I bring this out is because ultimately a lot of these interactions with Vocab Malone have become very disruptive. All right. To a point where it could cause situations that aren't necessary. And it's not worth the compromising of the ministry. All right, but you have to actually be spiritual through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to understand where the ministry is headed. All right. A lot of people look at the things, and I'm not talking about brothers in the ministry, but these people on these comment boards look at this and they really don't understand it. And it's because it's entertainment for them. They don't really take this serious. You know, this isn't something that they actually have to live and stand on a lot of times. They just on the outside looking in and calling brothers cowardice for avoiding something that is obviously unfruitful. For the sake of what? Entertaining you? You know, it reminds me of a video, I forget the title, from Elder Manata Zakba, where he brought up, this ain't entertainment. You know, this truth is not entertainment. This isn't for entertainment. This ain't WWE. This ain't wrestling. This ain't a rap battle. This crew against that crew. This is dead serious. Let's go here. Because contrary to popular belief, the prophets, Lord willing we be a part of that number, they weren't set up to have endless debates. They were set up to warn, to prophesy through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, to bring out the words of the Heavenly Father, not to go chasing Christians and chasing content, but to preach the word to the wind if necessary. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. That is why the Lord raised up the prophets. All right, to warn. All right, we're not here to sell the Lord. There's no selling Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You have these Christians come up 24/7 as if our job is to sell you on this being the truth. If it's not in you, it's not in you. It's that simple. All right, let's go here. This is John chapter 4 and verse 22. And it reads, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. All right, and the reason I bring this out is because ultimately the faith of the elect, they know this is the truth. This is why we don't lose anything from having a debate with a Christian. We know what we worship. If they believe, they believe. If they change their ways, they change their ways. But once it becomes a thing of disruption where there's no edification coming out of it, there's no point. A guy like Vocab, there's plenty of camps that's thirsty for content, that's thirsty for controversy and views that you can go and entertain. And this is why the Spirit is on Apostle Tahar to say this, because whether you understand it through the Spirit or not, the Spirit is moving. All right. The famine of the word is a real thing. You know, matter of fact, this is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 25. And it reads, but thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. You know, Elder Manasseh Zakba is an example of patience in addressing a lot of these not even controversial, but just the spirit of mirth that a lot of Israelites have. And there's a great pushback from those who understand that they're Israelites, but don't necessarily understand the times. And this goes back to Ezekiel 3 and 17 of giving them warning. That it ain't just about knowing you an Israelite. That's not the finish line. But that there is something serious coming down the pipeline, man. So this lesson is inspired on two fronts, you know, on both the front of, you know, those are the circumcision who are in the spirit of mirth, who really don't understand what they're a part of. They see these videos and they see these debates and they think that this is like the NBA or like wrestling. My team is going to win, you know, team team vocab versus team Sakari, and it's not about that, man. It's not about that. That was necessary at a certain point for the edification of the elect. But once the elect is sealed, that part of the ministry is going to eventually be phased out as we enter into the famine of the word. And the more serious parts of this ministry is going to begin. All right. Ezekiel 3:26 again reads, "And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious people." All right. You know what? Let's go here. Because one thing about the Christians in general is that they're hurt. They don't have a leg to stand on as far as doctrine. So they create these straw man conversations around, brothers, the apostles giving the order to not even entertain something that's going to disrupt the church, that's going to disrupt us at the altar, prophesying. That's going to disrupt to no edification. But even Christians should know this verse in particular. All right, this is Acts 5:38. "And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua." We don't go chasing Christians, We don't go looking for them. Oftentimes they come find us. We don't come looking for them. And that begins with our apostles and elders on down. They should apply this counsel, but they won't, because, again, it's not about actually seeking the truth. It's about controversy. It's about them ultimately trying to frustrate us in building. But you can do nothing against the truth but for it. But again, there is a level of prudence and a level of understanding that you have to see what's actually happening amongst the body. That this call is a very spiritual call, because ultimately vocab is going all across the country, and it's about content. It's not about actually seeking the truth. It's about him going to the drawing board, trying to find some other verse that he can twist and meddle to create some kind of content and conflict. But it's never really about true edification. And a lot of times the elders, the brothers, even in other camps, will deal with certain things that vocab says on videos, on breakdowns, without even having to be in front of him, because these conversations as of late with him have just been disruptive. All right. They haven't been to the edification of the body. It hasn't been fruitful. Scriptures talk about doing all things to edify. All right. But a lot of Jake just want controversy. They just want WWE wrestling. They don't really understand that ain't what the ministry was set up for. All right. It's a beautiful thing when you see the word cut Christians, when they try to bring up some BS and they get cut by the word. But when there's a point of contention where that edification don't come out, then it's no longer fruitful. All right, let's go here. This is 2 Corinthians 12:19. "Again, think ye that we excuse ourselves unto you? We speak before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and Hamashiach, but we do all things, dearly beloved, for your edifying." Once it leaves the realm of edification, it is destructive. It's vain. It's not fruitful. You got to think our apostles have been doing this for decades. If anybody would know, it would be them. And that's why we understand through the Spirit that there's a shift. Guys like Vocab Malone, what else is there to talk about? All right. And this, again, is inspired by both the Vocab Malone order through the Spirit, as well as the things that are going on amongst the circumcision, whether it be the spirit of mirth, or this, controversy of just farming content and just using being an Israelite as a source of content to monetize. That's not what the ministry was set up for. And that's why we're moving from faith to faith. All right. In that phase of the ministry, all right, the famine of the word is going to begin. All right. Esau, once Trump gets in there, things are going to start to happen. We don't know how quickly, but we're watching through the spirit. But that's why with all thy getting understanding is important. You know, understanding what you're a part of and ultimately understanding that the ministry will not stay in place forever. This is rivers of living water. It's going to move according to the will of the Lord. Prophecy isn't something that we just read about. It's going to be lived. And the ministry is set up to build up the faith of the elect that's already in them for that time that we're coming into. And a lot of these Israelites that are on these comment boards and these Christians that are talking about cowardice and all of these different things and don't really realize the reality of prophecy, that these things are going to play out in real life, that the ministry wasn't set up just to be another part of social media content. Let's go here. This is 2 Peter chapter 3. And I'll jump down. Let's jump here. Let's go to verse 10. 2 Peter 3:10 reads, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Shai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat? Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness." And the reason I bring this out is because in this verse, in these verses, there is a element of urgency. You know, Peter is bringing these things out to remind that this is a reality. What manner of persons are you to be, knowing this is coming down the pipeline? Are you to treat the ministry like it's WWE and my favorite team, my favorite camp? That's not what this is about. The words we read are going to play out in reality. And when the famine of the word happens, and it will, the faith of the elect is going to be solidified. But ultimately, that's what the ministry was meant for. It wasn't meant to have this controversial, I won't say controversial, but content, fame seeking, vainglory. That's not what it was built for. Those are just byproducts. It was built to build up the faith of the elect. And that faith is a gift from Yahweh Shai. And that's why our apostles talk about this only being for the elect so much. Because ultimately, this isn't for the casual Israelite, because these things are actually going to play out in real life. This ain't just words. This ain't just about who's able to cut this guy the best. This is actually going to play out in real life, man. And that's why you notice that through the Spirit, the Lord is setting up the pieces in a way for the famine of the word to happen. All right. From multiple angles. All right. This is Amos 8:11. "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it." And this is what the Spirit is gradually going to come to, that famine of the word. All right. And that's why with all thy getting through the Spirit, you have to understand what this actually is. This ain't entertainment. This is going to play out in real life. All right, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.